However long your inhale, match it to your exhale. In the yogic teachings, you shouldn't be doing anything other than really maybe a little bit of pranayama without the magic behind the pranayama, and just rhythmic breathing. That's it until you get to a certain stage of many, many, many years of practice. So just a gentle in for whatever count you do. Say a count for 6, inhaling, filling the stomach, holding for a count of 6, and then exhaling for that same count. Same pace, connecting up focus and relaxation and stillness. Stillness of the body, focus of the mind. Some people tend to think it's the other way around. Do our 2 initial mantras. First mantra all in one breath. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. Om Namo, calling in to the Creator without, the major influence of the Piscean age. Guru Dev Namo, calling to the Master within, the main teaching of the Aquarian age. When you learn to fully embrace, consciously aware of the Aquarian age, that calling then has a response which brings heaven to earth. Take a deep breath in. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. Another deep breath in, bringing the hands to heart center. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. Release the hands. Next mantra, connecting the head and the heart, aligning, tuning. Om Mani Padme Hum. Take a deep breath in. Om Mani Padme Notice wherever your alignment sits. I'm going to do it one more time. Open your hands up like this. Take a deep breath in. Om Mani Padme. Hands. Take a moment just to look within. Find a central point to focus upon. The more you focus, the subtler the energy. Thus becomes the natural expansion. Focus to a pinpoint. Whenever you lose your focus, just lovingly bring yourself back. For a moment, find that center point within your heart. Find your Buddhic nature sitting there. Normally when we share, we pass around a talking stick or a stone. Tonight, when you share, if you share, I want you to see that object inside your heart. Hold it there and share from there. As you're ready, open your eyes. To thank all of you for joining tonight, for being a part of the circle. What we typically do is we go around a few times through the night, open it up in case there's anything you'd like to share. You're more than welcome to share. You don't have to share. And then we introduce 2 new meditations each time. Tonight, they're both extended guided meditations. One is primarily a healing meditation with visualization. The second one is a spiritually infused meditation coming from the influences of the moon in Scorpio. Since we'll only be getting together once this month, we're bringing it all together because we probably won't have a healing circle on Thanksgiving night. Unless you want to. So we're going to go around the circle. My name is Phil. Thank you. Thank you everyone for helping to set the energy and tone for the evening. In a minute we'll be dropping into our first meditation. This one is a guided meditation to something you can try to implement in your meditative review when you want to do some healing work or explore where you are in a lesson or anything like that. This one's going to be exploring where you are within a recent experience with another person. You don't have to follow the words. You can drift away. Oftentimes when you hear people speaking of their spiritual journeys, and they talk about the dark night of the soul, it seems to be a big topic for people because it sounds so powerful and people think they've gone through it, and so they want to talk all about their magical happenings. But I think a more important happening is when you're becoming that seeker or that aspirant, and you're starting to tap a little bit into the soul's energy, sitting back behind. You see, the eternal world is your subconscious, your emotional body, and then your higher mind. But those three things are kind of blocking the soul's energy from coming forward. And then based on whatever energy is coming from within, your personality then shares it with the outside world. Do you see? And so when you start to get glimpses of the soul light, it's easy to not only love that, but then really judge when you're not in that. And then causing lots of chaos for yourself. The idea of the soul is really just trying to say, just embrace the experiences. I'm here for you. I'll support you. But what happens is, being human, what we try to do is we use our human skills. So we try to control things. We try to make it come back. Or we try to think things through, and we gotta understand why is it that we're crying or things like that. But the idea to get into the soul's energies is to have a willingness to let go of those physical attributes. Not fully and not forever, but just in moments. Do you see? Because the intuition is almost the opposite of the thinking mind. You can't logically intuit things. You can do lower forms of intuition, which is basically all of your past discriminating into your present. You get these spidey senses and tells you, hold on, I've been through this before. But that's not true intuition. True intuition is connecting up to the soul's light, which is group work, which is harmonization. You can't harmonize individually, right? And so it's a at first maybe imagination or faith or whatever it is, to really just open up and play. Do you see? And then the things transform and they reveal at the right time, in the right space. It's always answering back based on the forms that you create. But the thing is, in order to create the forms for these new creations for spirits to answer back, that means you got to break old forms, which means discomfort, which means things coming up that you didn't really, did I really sign up for this kind of thing? And that's part of the journey. Do you see? Because if you're giving up stuff that was easy, you're not really surrendering. Do you see? The whole idea is to see what you are willing to give up, to see how much you really want it. You see? Because the same tears that bring up the sadness slightly transform to the tears that show you the way of the soul. You see, that show you where you're really getting into somewhere special. Instead of being somewhere special that was the pain, it's somewhere special that's the insights of your true beingness, right? Anyway, so if you can, feel free to relax. This will be a guided meditation. Feel free to play along if you like. You don't have to again. Close your eyes and relax into a gentle state. But try to give yourself permission to be present through this. To see if some understanding might come in. You might call upon and ask for guidance from your guides or your soul, your ancestors, whatever it may be. Take a slow, generous breath in, allowing a long breath to exhale. Feeling the body grow heavy and supported. Allowing the heart to soften. Command the mind to settle into the gentle rhythm of your own inner tides. Imagine now that you are drifting into a realm made of water, memory, and accumulated experiences. A place where life's lessons flow through feeling. A place where everything you have lived is held lovingly in the depths beneath you. The scene grows clearer. You find yourself seated in a translucent canoe, fully see-through, light, smooth, quietly glowing from within. It rocks softly on a vast, shimmering expanse of water. Sometimes the waves rise and fall quickly. Life can be like that, unpredictable, stirring and urgent. And other times the waters rest almost completely still, reflecting how life is also quiet, spacious, and simple. Let your breath match the water's rhythm. Let yourself float here in the clear canoe for a moment, resting in this eternal presence. Now look down below your canoe. Beneath you, the waters are murky, clouded with the many impressions and emotions you've collected along the way. Just observe without interpretation. No need to judge or to change anything. Simply acknowledging that life leaves traces, and all of them belong, and they beautifully interweave. Allowing your heart and mind to soften even more. And as you do this, you notice the waters below slowly begin to clear. Calmer you get, the more transparent, open, and available the waters. When you feel ready, look into the vast array of experiences below and allow yourself to choose one recent encounter with another person, something that still lingers in your heart or your body. Hold the edge of the canoe gently and look down into the clear waters. See this experience forming below you. Not a story you tell, but a feeling landscape. Sense into how you were feeling before the encounter occurred. What was already moving inside of you? What expectations, fears, or hopes did you carry toward it? Next, sense how you felt during the experience. What was the tone of the environment? What subtle energies might have added to the influences? How did your body respond without even thinking? Then with some kindness and compassion, identify the primary emotion or intent you held in that moment. Now, without forcing anything, explore its opposite. What would the opposite emotion or motive look like? How might the scene have shifted from the opposite angle? Now widen your view. Ask yourself gently, what earlier experiences in my life might have shaped how I perceive this moment? Notice anything that arises, images, sensations, memories, or simply a sense of knowing. Next, sense into how you felt after it was over. In which chakra did this energy settle? What might have this whispered to your mind later on? From this neutral standpoint, looking down from the canoe above, upon review, was your response rooted in judgment? Or did it recognize an opportunity of choice and of growth? And now one more question, allowing the answers to float up naturally, no pressure, just curiosity without judgment. In the moment of that interaction, how much were you trying to control the outcome versus leaning into the opportunity? Recognize that both answers are rooted in love. And then gently begin to rise back into the body of the canoe, coming back to your present awareness, allowing the experience to settle back into the waters of consciousness as you begin to feel the steadiness of your being return. Sitting in the canoe, you lift your gaze. You notice that there's many other canoes out on the waters of the great expanse. Each canoe carries another person exploring their own depth of their own experiences. Find the canoe belonging to the person from your earlier encounter. See them also looking into these waters. See them also taking on the version of the story. How might they be experiencing this moment? What might they be carrying with them? What earlier chapters of their life might have shaped how they approached this particular exchange? Allow compassion to rise naturally, both for this person and for yourself. Not pity, not analysis, but just a simple understanding that we are all shaped by currents, both seen and unseen. Return fully to your canoe, embracing this newfound harmony. If it feels right, bring a hand to your heart. Sitting here with a greater depth of understanding allows you to realize that you're not alone. The more that you allow your body's stillness to match your mind's intentional silence, the more clearly you can recognize that your soul is sitting here with you in harmony. Your soul smiles gently, honoring your willingness to explore with openness and courage. Then a soft breeze begins to blow across the water. A gentle, guiding wind. These are the winds of change. The movement of spirit, carrying your future potential towards you. And with these winds, the spirits grant you an insight. Speaking in a whisper, Spirit shares with you. Your boat is made of light, and the waters take the form. But your mind is the builder of the boat. Sometimes when the waves are rough, you can build a bigger boat. Begin to feel the warmth of the sunlight touching your face, stirring the waters with a golden shimmer. The rays of the sun penetrating to the deep depths of your being. Together, the wind and the sun, they illuminate deeper beauty, even within these challenging experiences. Look once more at the encounter you explored, perhaps now recognizing how it harmoniously glows with meaning. How even its rough edges served your unfolding. And now set the intention for new clarity to awaken within. From this moment forward, every experience will offer a choice that you can approach with this new mantra. Will I allow this to be an anchor to the waters, or winds to my sails? Let this mantra enter your heart with a gentle smile. Reach for the sail attached to this delicate canoe, opening it fully, letting the breeze catch it, feeling the canoe beginning to glide, smooth, effortless, and assured. Ride these waters with grace as you make your way slowly back to the shores of life that's awaiting, carrying with you the wisdom, the compassion, and the spacious understanding you've touched here. Take one more deep breath in, a long deep breath out. And when you're ready to return, bringing yourself back to the room fully, if not already. Giving yourself a wiggle, a jiggle. Thank you for going through the experiment. So the idea of the soul, kind of like the sun, 360 degrees, a big circle, and then you're coming in with certain personality traits, attracting in certain experiences. It's just a couple degrees of that whole 360. And what you're trying to do with each experience is see it from the perspective of 360 degrees. All the different angles, all the different perceptions, you see. You're not just looking at it from your angle, you're also looking at it from other people's angles, right? So you're opening up your experiences to expand, to learn and grow, to start to see things from a broader lens rather than that individual lens. And so that's an exercise you can do sometimes, maybe once a month, if you want to do a review of things. See where you're at with lessons or relations, or if you want to dive deeper into an experience. It also is a healthy way because sometimes when things are stirring you, you can say, okay, well, hold on. Let me be present. Right now is not the time for me to work on that. So my deal I make with myself is later in the month in my review, I'll work on that. So it's a little bit easier to let go of that in the moment, and you can bring it up later. Do you see? So you're getting to be the director of your energies, you see, rather than continuing to carry the energy around the lesson all the time, and then it's kind of slowly causing distortion in all of your other experiences that day. Anything? We'll open it up to you guys to see if there's anything from that meditation that you'd like to share, respond to. Do any of you ever use the word command when you're doing any of your intention setting or affirmations, perhaps prayer work? See, it's important because remember that in both of us, there exists a feminine and a masculine quality. The feminine receptive and the masculine action, right? And so when you're dealing in the astral realm, and you're dealing with the mystical teachings like Sweat Lodge and stuff like that, you're taught all about prayer. Prayer is the asking of the calling in, the working through the emotions, and it's teaching how to open up the heart. But see, people get it confused. They think opening up the heart is the end-all, be-all. And that's really just the feminine, that's the foundation, just like the earth, for you to then take action. Do you see? A lot of people want to just wait around for spirit to give the answers or for the insights to happen. But you also got to put in the work. You see? The idea in the work, though, is it's very hard to do the work with clarity. In other words, without trying to control the outcomes. Because what happens when you control the outcomes, see, you're trying to reach out there to spirit, but then all of a sudden with control, you're going back down in here into these lower chakras again. And so it's got to be really pure. You see, you command something, but then how it comes back to you is you're not in control of that. You see? Because then there's another, you're putting the masculine out there, now you got to allow the feminine to answer back. Do you see? And so the command is you starting to take initiative. You putting your best foot forward. Being patient doesn't mean you do nothing. It means you continue to do the work, but you're patient with how it comes back to you. Do you see? Command is different from demand. Demand is of the personality. Command is the communication from the soul's light. What's happening is Your soul has selected a perceiving and feeling consciousness to go into those experiences. But you are not the experiences. You're not actually even the one perceiving or feeling it. You're the one behind it. Do you see? But they're all important. I think oftentimes people think that the idea is when the soul comes in, the soul's supposed to take over the experience, and that's not it at all. The person is, the soul is saying, we're just here to support you to feel and perceive into it more, not less. So you can make choices about how do you want to respond to it and engage with the experiences. Do you see? That's authenticity. It's being all right with whatever mix of soul versus personality versus the body, whatever is influencing you, just being all right with exactly where you're at. Finding what that is, that mix, and loving it. And then so loving it that then you can embrace that, hey, I'm ready to grow. Do you see? So then when you grow, you're growing into abundance rather than, hey, I'm growing because I'm broken or something needs to be fixed. You see? So it's subtle in there. What happens is your soul is sitting at the heart. Your personality is down here in the lower chakras. When the personality influences are the ones guiding your life, your pituitary gland is really lit up. When your soul starts to activate, your pineal gland starts to light up. When you start to fuse the two, working together, then your third eye comes alive. It doesn't mean that you're fully in soul consciousness. It just means that now you're starting to allow the presence of the soul to be a factor in your life. And over time, that factor might grow. See, there's a process to it all. In other words, there's a roadmap behind you that's the wisdom is built in your body to show you the way. Anyone else? Feel free. So ultimately what happens in anything you explore, but it has to come naturally, it can't come forced, is you see the soul exist in all things. That loving light that draws things in. You see, you create forms that magnetically attracts in the light, and then as you learn self-love, you start radiating out. Do you see? So see, both of them are love-based. It just depends where you're at with it. Some people want to go more towards that service to self path. That's the magnetic. That's more about form. The other side, service to others, is the radiation. It's when you learn to express and share and see things from others' lights, not just your own. You see? So there's lots of different angles on it. It's the beauty. So you get to know where you're at, and then through self-love you practice radiating your being. Whatever is the truth of you, that's the truth of you. And the more naturally it radiates, by the less you're inclined to worry about how it's being received. You see? If you're worried about how it's being received, you're no longer radiating, you're magnetically attracting in new lessons. Because all the things that stir you are just there to show you where you're not free yet. We all have them. They're gifts. Last call before the last meditation. So this meditation is more abstract, it's more on the spirit side, it's also more with the influence of the moon in Scorpio. The moon in Scorpio is here to test you, to stir things up, because it's to awaken the stage of what's called discipleship. We'll go into that for now. But it's asking you where you are and if you're ready to start releasing some of your personal stuff to step into service. Again, you don't have to follow along. You can do anything other than snore. Just checking. He'll snore anyway, so it's all good.
You weren't kidding.
He snored quickly, didn't he? He was like 30 seconds in, he was snoring. But then he came out of it. You came out of it quickly.
I heard a loud voice.
Yeah. So feel free to lay back. Feel free to jump on a couch or lay on the ground if you want. Especially since this one is abstract. Don't have to worry about all the words. Although there are many. Bringing yourself, first washing away, clearing, purifying, letting go of anything from that last story, the last experience, so it doesn't get brought into this meditation. Allowing that to sink back below the waters. Taking a slow, steady breath, allowing yourself to enter a space of quiet, inner readiness. This time we enter from a different plane of understanding. We release our need to gather for ourselves, for our comfort, or for our fellowship. We open and avail ourselves to the ancient work of spiritual service. Standing as conscious points of light within a planetary system. Now imagine a gentle alignment opening within you. See a channel of light extending upward and downward. Your heart linking to your higher mind. Your mind linking to your soul. Your soul linking with all other souls. And upward still into the radiant presence of a collective consciousness in the hierarchy of love. A two-way bridge of ascending and descending light. A living interplay between the human and the divine. hold this steady alignment. As you quietly affirm, in the center of all love I stand. From that center, I, the soul, will move outward. From that center, I, the one who serves, will work. May the love of the divine self be shed abroad in my heart, through my group, and throughout the world. Let this affirmation settle into you like a quiet bell tone, still echoing as we enter Scorpio's burning ground. There is no pressure here. Just breathe and let the scene form at its own pace. You may drift peacefully into silence, or choose to look ahead and see a glowing horizon of living, crackling earth. A realm that reveals the real from the unreal. Scorpio's approach consists of test, deep reorientation, of renunciation, of an illumination of the illusions as they are proven out in life's outer relations. This is a sign where the soul triumphs, allowing the soul and personality to coexist in right proportion, not erased, but properly polarized with tension. At the edge of this warm, luminous field, you pause. Not in fear, but in recognition. Under Scorpio's influence, the seeker discovers that growth often requires kneeling before rising, surrendering before receiving, and letting go before moving forward. Allowing yourself to kneel inwardly as a simple, quiet gesture of humility before the soul. Feel the priorities reshaping from the familiar weight of personal responsibilities towards spaciousness for the soul's light. Let the patterns, fears, and ambitions soften as they release into love. Not as a loss, but but as a willingness to put service, compassion, and inspiration ahead of personal. Stepping gently into the burning ground. Feel the fire not as pain, but as a warm, purifying glow. A flame that clarifies and frees you, who you truly are from who you once believed yourself to be. Within this flame, within this glow, two simple chairs appear. One for the personality and one for the soul. See the personality take its rightful seat, capable, steady, and devoted, but no longer the ruler. See the soul take its place, quiet, radiant, loving, and wise, allowing the inner alignment to settle. And with this harmony begins true sight. Soft opening of the heart, able to see the soul of God everywhere. Lift your eyes, your inner eyes, towards the world. Your family, your community, your nation. See the pain, the fear, the confusion, the loneliness. And then see deeper the gentle soul within it all. Each person guided, even in darkness, by a hidden thread of spiritual energy. See the spark in those who oppose you. See the light in those who feel lost. See the seed of love in the very center of the world's suffering. In Scorpio, the test is not loving the light, but loving while standing in the presence of the shadow. Let your heart stretch softly into a fuller, more inclusive love. Feel this radiate through you and from you. Not as effort, but as identity. You love because you are. And now lift this awareness up through your individual alignment, seeing your personality, your bodies, your emotions, your mind, each one trying its best to navigate life's lessons. Bless each layer with grace and gratitude, with peace, and with joy. Let them settle into a quiet harmony so that your true expression can shine out without strain. And then feel your soul step forward again, a clear, bright presence. Accompanied by a shadow cast by the personality. Stand now as a point of light, a point of loving service, a calm center within your own ashram. Let the light flow through you. Let love circulate through the human kingdom. When the moment feels complete, allow the burning ground to dissolve into a soft, gentle radiance, while letting the alignment remain quietly within you. And then begin to return to this meditative space, carrying the work, the love, the light, and the service you touched here. Back to the room. Beginning to wiggle the hips, the ankles, shoulders, blinking the eyes. We've got just a few minutes left. We'll go around the circle briefly to see if anyone has anything they'd like to share before we close out. Feel free. In a way, that's exactly what it is. The more you can get comfortable with not knowing and allowing things to be mysteries, the more that it reveals. It's why it's a difficult thing to kind of facilitate and teach, because it's the exact opposite way of how we learn to teach and learn. If you can truly and fully be open to not trying to control and surrender to the mysteries in the moments that you're in giveaway, and just being naturally you, but not being attached to the naturally you, it comes. You see? So in a way, not following the meditation is just that, if not more powerful than following it. Gathering up all the light and then bringing it back into your heart. Sealing off your sacred altar within your heart, where only you sit in your Buddhic nature, purified and clear. From there, all the work and service can begin. Thank you, everyone. We're going to open it up to announcements.